Now boarding for Rebuild of Joycast, your weekly destination for anime, manga, and more.
Oh my god, it is so cold right now, Val.
Is it?
I don't know how this train is even running. It is
Is
cold
it that bad
here.
in Michigan? Is it?
That's where I'm at, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
I
it
thought
was
so.
0 this morning as I was out doing my errands. Hurt. Wasn't wearing gloves. That sucked.
Oh.
How about you? How cold's it been in the UK?
You know what? For the last couple days, it has been okay, to be honest. It's been alright. Pretty mild.
Yeah. Hey, audience, how are you enjoying this? Us just talking about the small talk, we're talking about the weather.
They don't want to know about the weather. They want to know about the Winter Anime 2023 season.
Ooh, good segue. Yes. So for the past month and a half, we've been teasing that we would talk about the winter anime, and well, here's the issue, guys. It's not as stacked as the fall is, but I mean, winter has rarely ever been
Isn't
that
it?
stacked.
I'm looking at the My Anime list. There seems to be a lot, actually.
I mean,
going
there's a
on
lot
right
in
now.
volume, but I'm talking about stuff worth watching.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And I'll be fair. With my free time, you know what I've been doing with my free time, Val?
What?
I've been playing Fire Emblem Engage.
Oh, how is that?
You know what? It's super fun. The story sucks. But to be fair to it, it was not claiming to have a great story. It's very Saturday morning villain of the week kind of structure. I actually kind of respect it, but I don't really enjoy the story. Like, whenever the cutscenes happen, I kind of just mash through it.
It's
Which
one of
Steena
those
tells me, she's like,
things-
no, you gotta listen because there's actually some cool. I'm like, once in a while, yeah, someone does get a good line in. But for the most part, this is a very empty story because, again, it's not
No,
trying to
I'm
be.
gonna-
But the gameplay, this is peak Fire Emblem. This is fun.
I'll say something from what I've seen based on gameplay and stuff that people have shared around. I'm not as impressed by the voice talent this time around as I was with Three Houses, to be honest.
Okay, so this is what I'm gonna be fair about here. It's not the voice cast's fault. It's the
directors.
it's the localization, the scripting specifically. It's
Oh.
very matter of. It's very not literal, because they definitely made significant changes to avoid, the problematic shit. But generally, the language, it's just the language that's being read out is very matter of fact.
I see.
Because I would disagree, because fucking Enrico Fajardo gets some great lines. He plays
I haven't
literally,
heard
he literally
everyone.
plays a youth pastor, and it's fucking hilarious. There are some good reads in here. It's
I
not the
haven't heard
cast's fault, it's the writing. Because again, the story
Everyone's, but-
sucks.
I mean, Three Houses was good. I don't think the story was amazing in that.
I think Three Stories was really fucking fun. I think that story was fun.
Well, in all fairness, wait, did you play the rest of them? Because I know you played the Blue Lions and I think the Yellow Deer.
I played all 3. I love that game.
Oh, you played all 3. Okay,
Yes.
because I basically went for Black Eagles, and then I was like, you know what? I got 50 hours out of this, and I don't feel a need to play another 50 hours on a different campaign.
It's not enough for because I will say the if you're playing Three Houses, it's better to play Blue Lions first and Black Eagles last. Blue Lions
that?
is the true story
Oh, really?
until the very end. Then it's just they kind of just hammed it in at the end, where they had to really push it to make it work.
Yeah.
But basically because it has 2 very specific acts, and Act 1 is very every Act 1 is very much the same, but it's most relevant to the Blue Lions. Then and then Act 2 is where the stories diverge and they're very specific based on the house that you picked. And for the Yellow Deer, Act 2 is very fun.
I remember you describing them as getting the most done, but also being the least interesting.
So the Yellow Deer has the least
they
interesting
get to
story.
the actual core of the problem while also being the least interesting.
They literally have nothing going on, but in the last 2% of the story, they completely fuck off the story. They go do their own thing, and they go fight fucking Nazi clones in a fucking alien bunker, and it's really fucking cool. It's very funny.
wonder-
And it's
Strangely-
they literally just drop the story and go, All right, we're gonna do something else because this is clearly not working.
Strangely, I went with the, I don't know, would I describe the Black Eagles as the Communist Party in that game?
No, they're the hypocritic fascists, is what they are. But they have the best ending. They have the best ending, though.
What are you talking about?
Because they go
fascists?
fight the church. They fight the no. Because they're just hypocrites. Because they fight. They're clearly anti-fascism, but they fight fascism with more fascism. They're just hypocrites.
That is true. They do execute.
They're like the church is full of fascists and murderers. Proceeds to commit fascism and war crimes and murdering.
Proceeds to kill. I think Jean. Is it Jean?
I forgot. It's been a long time.
Who's my boy? It's been a long time. My boy, voiced by
it's good. It's a
Billy
great,
Cannons.
and the ending is great. And I feel like it has like, basically, Yellow Deer and Black Eagles have a battle for the true ending.
I see.
And then they made that. And then they made that Fire Emblem's Warrior ones, which is like an alternative timeline that kind of combines the three stories for a little bit. That I really appreciate, even though I don't like that gameplay because it's very mashy and boring.
No, Three Houses was a good experience overall. So would you say Three Houses is a superior Fire Emblem game then?
It's the better story. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of it I like. But if I'm talking about purely gameplay, Engage is far superior.
I would like it if
runs
Fire
better.
Emblem...
It looks better. Fire Emblem has the same problem that Pokemon does, where this shit could clearly still be running on a 3DS. Like Pokemon Sword and Shield, that could have been a 3DS game. It would have been running like shit, but it could do it. Same with Three Houses. It could be running on a 3DS. Engage is the first Fire Emblem that feels like a true fucking console Fire Emblem game. Not to say that the GameCube ones weren't as well, but like I'm saying they don't feel like ports. They feel like they are true to their system. They run immaculately. The gameplay is fucking great. The Engage thing where they had the rings of a specific past Fire Emblem character is actually a really fucking fun gimmick. It's really cool. And it makes the gameplay more customizable. I really like it.
That just sounds like, do you remember the RPG that released on the Wii U? Maybe not, but it was Fire Emblem crossed over with Persona, where
it was a Persona. It was
past Fire Emblem
Shin Megami
characters.
Tensei.
Yes,
Fire
that's
Emblem
it. But,
Encore.
I mean, that's the thing. Well, you gotta remember, Persona is Shin Megami Tensei.
All I know from that is
It's
the
just
theme song and
You're not particularly educated in the world of Japanese RPGs, are you? Except for Pokemon, it seems.
No, I'm not an RPG guy.
Yeah, it's like when we were talking about Final Fantasy, at one point you're like, where are the brothers? And I wanted to be like, they're separate, like all Final Fantasy games, except for a very select few, are separate continuities from each other. They're just new stories, and that's why how they keep it fresh, rather than like, building off of, one character to the next and everything like that. But no, Shin Megami Tensei is Persona, but Persona is the more successful spin-off series.
It's the ugly stepchild that people just love more for some reason. Yeah, I'm aware of that.
I would call it the Cinderella, if anything.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, exactly. You're right. It's the Cinderella. Yeah. I know Persona's the spin-off, but people like that better because of 5 and 4.
I would say 3. Like, if
which
you're going,
which one has Golden?
4, but I would say, Ivan, if you ever have the interest in playing Persona, for one thing, if you stream it, I will play with you. 3's the one they shoot
themselves on the TV, right?
Yes, no. 4 is the one where you're combining 2. 4 is the one where they dive into the TVs. 3 is the one where they shoot themselves.
Yes, because 3 was like early internet memes. Like I am highly aware of the Persona franchise, even if I've only played one of them. And Steena's played 2 of them.
3 is a fucking immaculate game.
Like Steena's the 4 stand and I'm the 5 stand, but I mean I don't need to stand 5. It's just
I stand 3.
It's the mainstream one.
3 is my favorite. I would love it if we all like went away for a month, played our respective favorite Persona games, and came back to talk about it.
Except I would be at it for years because
I don't
5 is
honestly
way too fucking long.
I bought 5 is way too fucking long. Here's the thing, I just don't like the characters in Persona 5 very much. I was initially like pretty invested in everything going on, and then I hit the bank heist bit, and I just completely dropped off after the art heist. I don't know what happened. I was just like,
it's such a long, wordy fucking game.
It's the case with all RPGs. Honestly, if I were to recommend you an RPG, I would recommend Final Fantasy X, because for one thing, it's got a beautiful story. It's pretty like on rails, and you don't really forget what you're doing, and it's got very intuitive combat that's like easy to grasp.
Goes, ha
ha ha ha ha. That's a beautiful scene if you understand the context.
I don't need to. I watch multiple Let's Plays of that one. I do not need to play it.
Oh, fair. I fucking love that game though. Like that's one of my...
I could tell it has some unironic love though. I understand. I'm not a fan of Final Fantasy or any of the specific ones, but I get the love of the series. I truly do. But we should wrap it back in, like, basically I should say is between Fire Emblem Engage and Three Houses. Three Houses is a lot of fun. It's got the better story, and that's enough to grip people. But after playing Engage for as long as I have, the gameplay is so much better. Fire Emblem Three Houses is fucking baby mode. Like, it's just like, compared to Engage has actually got fucking good gameplay. There's actual good difficulty, whereas you're just button mashing through Three Houses gameplay wise.
That is true.
You could play any way you want. Like, you could literally solo it with your main character. Engage, you gotta play it right.
A difficult Fire Emblem game, play Conquest on the 3DS. The only thing I will say is that game is kind of like I did not enjoy those last two, those last ones on the 3DS personally.
I mean, a good time to start downloading 3DS games, because isn't the eShop?
Oh shit, it's gonna close in March. Yeah, good fucking point. I should get on that as well, because I kind of want to get, like, what was it? Donkey Kong on like the 3DS, because they re-released the Wii game on 3DS ages ago, I remember.
Yep.
There are a few on there. And also like Earthbound on the 3DS, but it's only for new 3DSs.
Yeah, but enough about like you did something right before the show, Val. Like
oh yeah. I went to see Puss in Boots.
Yeah, because apparently it came out later. Normally the UK gets all our movies first, but no,
we don't. No,
you were late by months.
No, we do not. We get movies way later than you.
That's bullshit.
I remember when Coco came out, like I was like, oh,
you know
everyone's
what?
talking about Coco.
Let me refrain. Animated films come out here earlier, but live action stuff comes out in the UK first.
Like I don't know. I have not.
It really does.
I mean, when did Batman come out? Because that was like a
first
Valentine's Day thing for us. Yeah.
That came out around the same time.
Maybe that's because the reach that Warner Bros has there. Maybe they are just like, yeah, we can just make an international release for this. And I really don't get it. Anyway, Puss in Boots was a really good film.
Goated.
It was pretty fucking goated.
One of my favorite films of last year. And it's making a strong case to be an all-timer for me. I really love it. It has a
lot of really strong emotive bits where I really did feel like emotions welling up from myself. Like, I like the bit that everyone went on about where Puss is like, he's got the anxiety from the fight going on. He's like, oh fuck, I could actually die, and he runs away. And it's when the dog like rests his head on his chest and stuff. It's like, no, that's a really nice scene. I don't think it's the representation for anxiety attacks like everyone thinks it is.
I was about to bring everyone's that up, just like,
this is the fucking best example of an anxiety attack ever. It's like, no, it's not. I don't think it is.
I think it's very nice. I think it's moment. I think relatively it is.
Yeah.
I think it handles it better than 99% of all fucking films.
Yeah, for sure. The animation was fucking superb. And I really like character design. John Mulaney as Jack Horner, kind of fucking awesome, actually.
Fucking...
super fucking good.
People are so fucking scared to just have a fucking, like, bad guy, And and you know me, I like to have optimistic storytelling as well. But sometimes you do just gotta have just an asshole, man. Just a terrible motherfucker, and the whole purpose is them to be terrible.
I would say it works in this specifically because you already had, like, you have three, like, things going on. You got everything going on with Puss, Kitty Softpaws, and Petito, I think they called him.
Petito.
The dog. Petito.
Or as the subtitles call him, speaks in Spanish, parentheses. I want to mention that because that was a thing on Twitter. Because basically the Last Wish did not do well. Like, now I understand why. It did not do well in theaters in its initial run, but go fucking figure. It was not international, because I just learned through you and a few other people that you guys are just getting Puss in Boots now. Mm-hmm. It was in the States around Christmas, and it bombed, and so they went immediately to streaming. And it's like, well, it wouldn't have bombed if you put it out like everywhere
internationally,
and also not at the same time as Avatar.
Did you want to bring up the fact that you got to bring up the subtitle thing?
Yeah, the subtitles was the fact that there's a reason for this, kids. Because Steena messaged me too because we were rewatching it during a movie night on the JoyRide Discord. And that was a joke everyone kept making was speaks in Spanish in parentheses. And the reason for this is because of localization. Just because your subtitle guy is not your localization guy. Those are two completely different jobs. It doesn't matter if it's obvious that Perrito is a name. If it's Spanish, the transcriber has to specifically put speaks in Spanish. You have to specifically get a Spanish translator to then go in and then put all that Spanish in translated. That's a completely separate unionized thing. And obviously Netflix is gonna cheap out and not do that. So that's why when Boots says holy frijoles and it's speaks in Spanish parentheses, hello Perrito, hello speaks in Spanish, just it's that's why that happens. And I thought it was a very interesting thing to bring up.
How do you feel about this? Because you're bringing up subtitles. Do you remember when West Side Story came out?
Yes.
Did you watch West Side Story?
I saw it in theaters.
Did you see the stupid, quote from Steven Spielberg about why he didn't translate anything in Spanish or anything, supposedly out of respect for Spanish, and something about not letting white people win or something, and it's I don't know what that has to do with anything.
Yeah, I don't know about that last
says.
part was not necessarily to be added, but I do like the fact, I do agree with fuck subtitles. Film is such a visual medium that you can, if you're adept enough, you can communicate what's happening without understanding the language. And Spielberg has the skill, but adding that shit where he's I'm trying to leave some people out, this is a specific, okay, relax, Steven.
We just want to know what the fuck they're saying, dude.
Here's the thing, you don't need to know what they're saying. Again, he is adept, he's very good at his job, that you don't need to know what they're saying. You can guess, because West Side Story is just Romeo and Juliet. All right.
I still think that's fucking dumb. His fucking
if it's a story, here's the thing: if it's a story where you really need the dialogue, yes. But in those brief bits, because it's not the entire film, but in brief little bits where they're just going off and talking in their own language, you don't need the fucking. You don't need.
The only thing I could say to
visuals is the key.
No. The only thing I could say about the Puss in Boots
and let's be
thing
honest, why he doesn't want to read anyways. We've already learned this in Parasite. No one wants to read subtitles.
Parentheses speaks in Spanish is that it might motivate someone to actually look up what those words mean or even learn to speak Spanish to some degree.
I agree with that point.
That's the only point that I could say there in putting that in subtitles. He made a very specific creative decision that he was correct
until he added the last unnecessary bits.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because again, I agree. You don't need to understand language. You don't even have to talk.
No, you don't. No, it's fine. Have you ever seen El Topo?
Yes.
Yeah, the mole, or I think it translates to, it's that weird fucking Spanish film where the cowboy's going around killing a bunch of gunslingers or specific people out in the desert, and I think by the end of it, he basically gets trapped in a mine with a bunch of, disabled people. I watched that ages ago.
It's been a while.
And I was blitzed out of my mind. I think it was at least 2018 or something, and that was a while ago now, when we really think about it. But yeah, that was a fucking weird film. I didn't understand Spanish. I feel like there were subtitles, but you know what? That film didn't actually have that much dialogue in it in the first place.
Yeah, you don't need it. Again, if you're good at what you're doing, you don't need it.
It's a very art housey film, so it's one of those things where I am kind of sat there and
because they're prioritizing visuals over dialogue.
I want to pass my own understanding of this film anyway, to be honest, so I don't mind that, but when it's something like West Side Story or even Puss in Boots to a degree, yeah, I kind of want to know what they're saying, but like I said, I could justify it by saying, well
Puss in Boots, you don't even understand to say, because it's just catchphrases and
True.
Spanish names.
No, yeah, exactly.
I think the wolf speaks Spanish at the end.
He does.
At one point, and again, you don't need to hear, because, again, it's not even just visual. You can tell in the sound of his voice that he is frustrated, he's expressing his frustration. Subtitles unnecessary. Because again, that's deft filmmaking.
I am wondering, why did they make Death a wolf in Puss in Boots? Because my friend was like, well, it's
it was obvious. People were getting really mad about
friend
that.
Was like,
it's not that big of a deal. It's pretty obvious.
Getting mad about why he's a wolf?
The people were getting mad because apparently it's a spoiler that he's deaf.
I mean,
But it's like,
no,
it was
it
pretty
is super
obvious. This is still a kid's movie at the end of the day.
Yeah, no, it is. It's super obvious.
It's not a huge plot, so it's like, oh my god, this changes the context of everything. No, it's
No.
very written right across the walls. But,
No, yeah, that's.
But yes, go on, go on.
I was gonna ask, why is the wolf death? Why is death a wolf? And I'm wondering if that has something in like Spanish, Mexican culture or something like that. Because my friend was like, "Well, it's the big bad wolf." I'm like, "Well, no, it isn't the big bad wolf."
No, it's
I
not,
mean,
because the big bad
it
wolf
could be
wears a
the
dress.
Yeah, the big bad wolf wears a fucking
He
dress.
wears
If he,
drag
like,
and he's awesome.
I've been here the whole time, Puss. And then he like just takes off the dress.
So I think they're playing upon your preconception of that in terms of the wolf. It's actually more to do. It's less about being a wolf and more about being a canine, a dog.
Yeah,
because
that's what I was thinking.
there's a foil here. There's the dog that antagonizes Puss, and there's the dog that comforts him, Perito. There's definitely a duality and a foil going on here. That's the reason. I'm sure there's some culture where wolf definitely probably plays some kind of role in death, but primarily this is just a duality thing.
Yeah, that's partly what I was thinking, but I was wondering if
But
there was
also
any,
death
like...
is the fact that, like, again, Shrek is a fairy tale universe, and they're saying, yeah, there is a folklore, because it's not just fairy tales, it's folklore in general, and so this is their folklore for death. Death has a representative in the Shrek universe, and now they've shown him.
I thought the bit where they flashed all the map locations was cool because that straight up just tells you what each person is like trying to find in themselves. Like there's the bit where Kitty
It's just a
it's all loneliness
story.
Yeah, no, it's like all the stuff is like the lonely mountains, something of
They barely
never-ending
explain
sadness and
that
loneliness.
shit. You just see it.
Yeah, you just see it, and it's like, oh, I understand what you're looking for then. And I actually thought Soft Paws was like one of the better characters in it. It's one of those things where I feel like nowadays, like I mentioned this with something that we watched recently and we talked about. Oh yeah, with that manga, with what Steena's reading right now. The name eludes. Pardon?
Androl or Sas?
Basara, yeah, that's the one. Where I said that it's nice that there's no breaking down of other characters to lift up other characters, because that's what, like, I feel like, as I said, a lot of modern, more Western films are doing really wrong. They feel the need to break down the characters around them to try and lift up new characters a lot of the time, and it was like,
you're wrong.
I enjoyed.
I'm right. I get it. But I definitely agree. No. I'm saying not you. I'm not saying between us. I'm saying that,
no, not between us.
I'm saying the character is right and all the other characters are wrong.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
I understood
like,
that, but not even in that way.
I mean, that you don't have to break other characters down. I agree. That's such a nice thing.
No, I mean, like, specifically, I really like the relations between Softpaws and Puss, because this is a story about a man who has lost his confidence, and the people around him are supporting him and actually giving him a reason to live. It's never a point of, like, you know, Softpaws being like, you've lost your fucking self, Boots, you know, you fucking suck now and everything, and I'm better than you or anything like that. It's like, because he doesn't need that or anything. It's a nice film in that they actually help build him back up to who he really is, and maybe even make him a better person.
Like, a little more appreciative of what he currently has. Like, it's such, like, we could discuss this film for hours. That's how fucking good it is.
It was a really fun film, and it actually almost makes me...
for Hollywood, let's be honest.
Actually, almost makes me excited for Shrek 5, if they're actually making it, because they seem to fucking imply it very heavily. I am actually down for Shrek 5.
I'm more excited for Kung Fu Panda 4, because it's the same director.
They're making a Kung Fu Panda 4?
They're making another Kung Fu Panda, and it's going to be the same guy who just directed Puss in Boots.
I thought that fucking Kung Fu Panda 3 was like, it was like a perfect trilogy, wasn't it?
It was, but, you know, money.
Yeah, true.
And I would normally
Black.
say I'm not excited, but after seeing this, oh yeah, I would gladly take another Kung Fu Panda if they're gonna go the same route as Puss in Boots did.
Yeah.
DreamWorks
Honestly,
is on it right now. DreamWorks is so on right now.
They have really been kicking Disney's ass.
Did you see
the
Bad Guys?
I did not watch The Bad Guys.
I mean, after watching Puss in Boots, it'll seem like a step down.
It was honestly, I'll say this. I think DreamWorks have decided they found their fucking their target audience in furry baiting, to be honest.
You know what? Fair enough.
Yeah.
Just as long as you get like good fucking characterization, good writing and directing, like who gives a fuck?
No, it's fine. You can
Who
make
gives a
whatever the
fuck
fuck
who's
you want
for?
if it's actually well done and entertaining. It really doesn't.
But I mean, like
matter.
the Bad Guys is like a very babyish movie by comparison. It's not as deep.
That's really what I got from
But
it.
it's
That's
still
why I didn't
really
watch it.
fun, though. It's still
That's
really
fair.
fun, and the animation is fucking great.
I understood
it definitely runs a little
immediately.
bit too long, though. That's the reason why Puss in Boots is also fucking incredible across the board, because it's a fucking airtight film. It runs close to that perfect hour. and 20
I will
minute
say
mark
this.
discuss.
I will say I have only one little niggle with it, and that is I was kind of like, and weirdly like, not offended or anything like that, but I was really taken aback and like, that adds really nothing that the dog swears.
Okay, so this is a thing that anime films are doing now. So I've discussed this with Steena and all the JoyBoys during movie nights. Hey, guys, if you ever want to hear my rants about movies, man, movie night, Discord, you get it for $1 a month on Patreon. That's all it takes. And then Saturday nights, we literally gather around and watch movies if I show up, because I get so fucking busy. But when I do show up, I rant. And one of my favorite rants is the Cold War with cussing now in films. PG-13 films, in the past, about 10 years now, they all get, one F word at the end of the film. And they're allowed to pass as PG-13. I'm starting to see multiple F-bombs much earlier in the films now. Not only that, but they're not even censoring them when they air on TV now. We have suddenly we as a country in our openly Puritan but quietly fucked up country, we've now silently agreed that we all get one F-bomb now. And now children's films are starting to catch on to this, where they still can't swear, but they can censor beep swears. And that's acceptable. And again, we saw this escalation happen within a span of a year. Starting with Super Pets, the Warner Brothers animation, but with Crypto and Super Dog.
Did you watch that?
Actually, that one had multiple. What am I talking about? That one had multiple swears as well. There's an old tortoise character who literally drops F-bombs that are censored, and it's fucking funny. And then Puss in Boots does it, where the guy just keeps dragging on and constantly fucking swearing. And it's so morbidly fascinating how quickly that escalated from live action to animated, where no one gives a damn anymore. But you still can't say swears in the first 3 seconds of a YouTube video, though. Be careful.
I was just surprised and kind of like, does this add anything to his character, really, that he's the only one
it's
who
not.
swears?
This is probably Puss in Boots' one cardinal sin. It's one lazy joke, where it's all right, just in case we can't get the adults to laugh, because even though at the end of the day we still have a bunch of producers who still don't trust the animations for everyone, let's get a couple of cussies in there and then beep it to make the basic adults in the audience laugh. That's what that is. And it's fine. It was funny. Granted, Steve and I were drunk as fuck when we saw this. This is a new fucking thing that now if we go see a children's film and because we were not certain about this film. No one was certain about Puss in Boots. It obviously it was reflected in its box office. Its streaming is doing great. In box office because it had to use word of mouth. Not many people went and saw it. So me and Steve were basically when we're uncertain about an animated film, we will sneak drinks in there and we will just have a blast. Because we live in bumfuck nowhere, so there's no one in the theater.
I'm gonna say, people, if there's a film that you are passingly interested in, just go watch it in the fucking cinema, support the industry. I don't want to have to fucking every time I watch a film sit in my own home and pay 15 fucking additional pounds or something just to watch a brand new fucking film. I'd rather go out to the fucking cinema with my friends.
Yeah, but again, it's just because the cinema experience is not equitable, as I've learned since COVID. And so I get there are circumstances where you need to stream, because not everyone has that same access. And also, Val, you're talking about 15 pounds. I mean, that's very close to the price of a movie ticket now.
Yeah, I know, but I'd rather have, the big
gas,
fucking screen and everything. I don't want to sit in my fucking house and watch,
plus
a 15
gas and
pound
overpriced
film.
concessions. Honestly, the argument's being made. But that being said, it's not as if streaming isn't shooting itself on the fucking foot right now. Constantly.
Like Netflix?
What's that?
Like Netflix?
Yeah, which we're not going to discuss, because what an obvious, water is wet, this anti-consumer deal, this new anti-consumer policy is fucking stupid.
I might be spouting in the streets, but I'm more of an Amazon Prime guy.
I mean, that's fair. Amazon Prime has stuff. They're kind of lackadaisical about what they hold on to, but it's better than HBO Max constantly we've already had this
Canceling
discussion
shit.
where they just like they're afraid to hold a license. Like they are like literally removing art from our minds. They're like, you can't even think about what we have right
That's
now.
why I like
That isn't
buying,
DC
like,
or a video game.
I don't mind buying an old film for like a $5 and knowing, oh, I can watch that whenever the fuck I want. If like the streaming service was like, you pay for this £15.
Oh, the case for physical
brand
media
new
will always be around if they keep acting like this.
If these things, oh dude, I think you might have seen it on my birthday, but I got like Planetes on Blu-ray, DVD. And
I saw,
shit.
yeah, I
I'm
saw
all
you
about
flash
that
that.
physical media. I fucking have you watched that anime yet?
Plantis, I still have not.
I really
know you
recommend
speak very
it.
well of it. I know you do.
You would fucking love it. It's about working in a corporation during like a time where space travel and space tourism is at like a boom, and like they're ramping up to exploring like the outer galaxy and shit like that, like going to fucking Mars and shit. It's like Elon Musk's fucking dream, but it's actually a really fucking good anime about stagnation and like, you know,
who's the writer on
attaining
that?
dreams.
Someone we know.
Same person who made Vinland Saga.
Exactly, and that's why I want to segue because winter anime. So we made a mistake I did made a mistake a couple weeks back when I was first discussing Vinland Saga Season 2, where I said, oh wow, it feels like the animation teams changed at MAPPA between seasons without even realizing that Studio Wit did Season 1, MAPPA is doing the current Season 2. And I'm like, God damn it. They gotta get their hands on everything.
What is with Wit? I mean, I know that Spy
Well,
Family.
no, we
is their golden
already know
goose
what's
and
with
shit.
Wit. They were going bankrupt because they were overextending themselves. Because they're not like MAPPA where they choose to starve their animators. Wit goes, do we starve or do we get realistic? And they get realistic.
I fucking love Studio Wit.
I love Wit. I think Wit's our new favorite studio, right? Between Ranking of Kings, Spy X Family, and all the shit they did touch before they got rid of it. I mean, fucking great.
What do you think of Vinland Saga Season 2 then? I assume
Well, it's
you
Farmland
watched it?
Saga. It's one of the best arcs in the series. So story-wise, it's great. Animation-wise, now that I know that it was traded over from Wit to MAPPA, it's a fucking downgrade.
I remember when Attack on Titan...
It looks like Attack on Titan during its down episodes.
I remember when Attack on Titan, the final season, came out. Because you were vehemently like, you leave the fucking animators alone, they're doing their best. And now it's like, it's a fucking downgrade, but...
Well, because
you're just
I
like,
don't blame the
I get
animators.
it,
I
know
blame
you
the
don't.
directors and the producers in charge. Because they're starving them. It's not the animators' fault, man. They're fucking,
I know.
fucking starving. They are
it's-
exhausted. They are
It's just,
spread
you
too
know,
thin.
it's just a year down the line and stuff, you know, or 2 years even. 2 years down the line, it's just funny to see how things change, I guess.
My impression of the studio as a whole, the animators have
No,
still
yeah,
the
no,
same.
Mappa has lost a lot of respect from a lot of people, as far as I can tell, except for the normies who will continue to go, Mappa is the greatest fucking animation
They'll
studio
go, wow,
on this
man,
planet.
wow, so many. Give these animators a break. Like, that was funny the millionth time. Now we're about a billion times into the same fucking joke that's not helping. Like, no, you need to really start criticizing Mappa. Like, I'm serious. Like, you need to start, like... I kind of don't want to fucking watch this season of Vinland Saga. I don't want to watch the new Attack on Titan. I don't want to keep enabling these fuckers, man. This is horrible.
They have basically turned into a bloated mass of just fucking shows and shows.
I don't want to enable
It's getting
it.
ridiculous. It is getting ridiculous. It's like, you know, I'm quite happy because I just watched Demon Slayer Mugen Train, and that film was okay. It wasn't amazing. I kind of am thinking I sort of understand why maybe these studios don't make arcs into films to a degree, but maybe that's because of the contents of the arc of Mugen Train itself being set on like a very simple single place.
Like, I wish that was the argument, but you just saw it. I mean, Mugen Train is literally just episodes of the anime pressed together. It literally repeats itself like an anime would weekly. Like, Mugen Train the movie could shave off 40 minutes and you would not miss anything.
No, I thought it was all fucking
But if we want to take
pretty...
it as a whole, like, yes, it's an excellent arc. It's an excellent set piece. I do enjoy it.
Yeah, like, I would
think it's
recommend
very
it.
good, but it's not anything different that you would see UFO Table do on television.
I agree, yeah. I didn't really
And that's
see
the
anything
problem. That's
where I
why the
was
My
like,
Hero
yeah.
movies are actually kind of awesome. As much as I hate how much they take away from the main TV series, at least when you go there, you're going to see something you could see on TV if they didn't siphon the budget away. But as it currently stands, the movies give you something you don't get to see on TV.
I would actually like it if My Hero Academia ended the series anime with a movie.
We'd all love to see that, but they won't.
I think that the events that have taken place in the manga thus far would translate extremely well to a big fucking movie release.
Also, there is a rumor that, even though we've passed Jump Festa and they have not announced another My Hero movie, there is rumors that there's going to be another movie because...
There's going to be another movie.
Because right now, because with what's going on with the manga, the fact that Hori is definitely very late, and as we've learned through the main series anime, that there's clearly limits to what Bones is allowed to see. And right now, Bones is a very weird spot where they don't quite know. They definitely don't know how the manga ends yet. And they're in this weird space where they should be producing the final season about right now. So there's a rumor that the anime might take a year off and we'll just get a movie.
I'd be happy with that.
I think that would be just fine. I think that would be the way to do it, honestly. Take a year off, do a movie. One year you get a movie, another year you get a season. Like, that's kind of how it should have been done.
I don't want a season. I want to end the fucking series off with a fucking
movie.
The
movie's not going to be relevant to the series. It's going to be a one-off again. As you and I predicted in a few episodes back, it's going to be like summer vacation or post-graduation. They're going to fuck the timeline again.
I just want more of these films to be adaptations of actual series, because I would be more, like, anyone would just be more inclined to go see it that way. Because I didn't bother with the last two My Hero Academia movies, as you know, because I know they're not fucking important. I watched One Piece because I'm a fucking
I'll be honest
slut
though,
for One Piece.
Heroes Rising is fucking awesome, and World Heroes Mission has, even though the story's boring,
the best
animation's
but
really
boring.
fucking cool.
It should have been a road trip movie with the fucking boys, and they only did Midoriya and this one kid, which I know.
Well, I mean, there are two boys. It's Midoriya and a movie-exclusive character who, honestly, is better than most original characters in the main
but
series.
It's like the Pokemon films. I like the Pokemon films,
it's
like the ones
exactly
that I
like
have
the
watched,
Pokemon
because
films.
I like seeing Ash, Brock, and Misty all fucking contribute to something. Granted, do Misty and Brock contribute a lot in those films? Not fucking really, except
they get
the best anime movie ever.
There's a particular Pokemon movie. Hey, guy, Steena, who runs our social media, was pushing for those Pokemon movie reviews again that I did. And I discussed this, where there's a movie where Brock, they don't even hide it, they literally shit-can his ass, where they just leave him behind, and he's like, oh, well, I guess I've been left behind, and they move on.
Which one is that?
That is Giratina and the Sky Warrior. The one that's Shaman in it.
Wait, they just leave Brock behind?
They just leave Brock behind multiple times.
What the fuck? Brock's cool.
Brock is awesome.
Brock is fucking awesome. I loved it when he came back in Sun and Moon. He was fucking ripped and shit.
I think they'll bring him back for a little bit if they haven't already, because they're doing the farewell tour right now.
Yeah.
Again, another anime that should not exist right now, because the last thing I checked, Oriental Light and Magic was not.
They're only doing this to catch up on like the amount of episodes that are actually owed to the fucking thing or something.
They're I could have sworn they had already met their deadline, but maybe they haven't. It's something like that. They're either trying to finish their contract, or they're buying time for the new anime. Probably a mix of both.
Maybe.
Next in winter anime though, Val, have you been watching Trigun Stampede?
I've only been looking at it. I haven't really had the time to be doing
I know, me too.
anime.
I feel so bad. We keep promising that we review this.
Here's the thing.
I've watched one episode. I'm waiting for the dub.
I feel like the dub's already out.
Oh yeah, I want more of it. I want to binge it.
You've already watched one episode of the dub.
I've watched one episode of I watched the first episode. I'm waiting for a couple more dub episodes to come out.
I took a look at it, and I gotta say, I think it really looks beautiful.
It looks awesome.
In some places, I think visually, Orange have like captured a really amazing style, like they do. Because as everyone knows,
it looks
I fucking
way better
adore
than Beastars.
I adore the first season of Beastars.
I enjoy the first core of Beastars.
Yeah, I think that Beastars season 1 is fucking good. The first episode literally got me into the manga, which, as I have said many times before, Beastars starts for me as a must read, and then towards the end, it's like none of it was really worth it.
Just falls apart. It happens.
It really fucking does. It's like you found gold and you take it to the fucking bank and then it just turns to shit in your hands on the way there. I have no idea how a ball was dropped so fucking hard, but it really looks it looks super impressive. It is one of the, I literally flashed a shot to my friend and be like, yo, check out this anime. And he's like, yeah, it's 3D. And then it's that bit where that guy tries to shoot Vash and he does those like really like quick, sick movements and everything with like, and it looks so amazing. He was like, whoa, what is them? Like, oh, it's the new Trigun. It looks really fucking good, doesn't it? But then there's bits where it's like the chase scene that everyone like shows. It's like, 3D animation is getting better and better, and it's like
I still think that
that scene looks shit.
Really, I think it looks just fine for what it is.
No,
again, it's TV CG. I get it.
His movement. It's in his movement. There are bits where Vash's movements are really fucking great, where it's like skipping frames and everything. But in that specific scene, it is trying to make everything so smooth that Vash almost has this like horrible floaty video game weight to him when he moves and stuff, and it ends up looking really shit to me in places. And it's a shame because I do think visually it looks amazing, and I love the updated character designs. Bits that I don't like are things like Vash's arm being on show all the time, because I think I've spoken about this before. I loved the original Trigun, and there's a very important bit that I believe is coming up in the manga, in the anime, the new anime, where he is faced down by, I want to say his name is like Moev the Gale, and this is like the first downright sadistic evil motherfucker that Vash meets. And he does not care about, like, the loss of human life. And this makes Vash so fucking angry, he contemplates killing him. And one of the best scenes in that is where Vash goes to shoot him, he loses his gun, only to reveal that his robotic arm turns into a gun, and it recontextualizes many scenes before this for you as a person watching. And it really sticks into you, Vash's resolve not to kill people. Because it turns out, in all the occasions where he hasn't had a gun, or he's been, like, seemingly at a disadvantage, he could have taken a life or fought back, but he never has. It's one of those things, and I'm really disappointed in something like that. It sounds like a nitpick, I know. And
no, I think that sounds reasonable.
And I also think
I know this anime's been doing things out of order. Like, this one starts on some shit that you weren't supposed to be revealed till, like, much later.
Yeah, well, the manga is very different, and like I've met people that really like the first core of Trigun before it gets into the sci-fi stuff, while this one is immediately being like, no, this is all sci-fi, because initially you just think,
it doesn't like taunt or tease you. There's no foreplay in the new one. It's immediately like, this is sci-fi, and go figure, different time.
That's what I like about the original Trigun, though.
Don't want a direct Western anymore.
Yeah, I like it feeling initially like a steampunky Western, only to reveal, no, it's all sci-fi actually. There's different, like, you know, this has space travel, and the creation of this planet, the civilization that lives on it now, is actually, like, directly connected to Vash. It's a really good reveal, I think, and I find it weird, personally, like, personal taste aside.
I agree. I think I was very much, like, I raised an eyebrow, like, as much as I enjoyed that first episode, I raised an eyebrow when it started the way it did. I'm like, I feel like you were supposed to see some other things.
You're supposed to earn it. You're supposed to earn it by, like, sticking through and finding out, like...
That feels like an earned context.
I would even say that is, like, how... It's almost like how One Piece is now revealing, like, oh no, we're actually in the future and robots and shit were a thing. And, like, clearly we've gone full circle and, like, technology is reset. And shit like that. That's how it feels, but in a way quicker, maybe even better way, because like Vash is actually directly connected to those events, and that's what makes it really fucking cool.
Okay, otherwise on the list, I've only seen two others. Buddy Daddies.
Spy X Family, but way more brutal, it seems.
Not really. I've seen like... No, honestly, it's actually like even like duller.
Oh, really? Oh, no. I mean, I've seen bits and it's like seems quite a bit violent, actually.
The first episode, there's some action. After that, it's pretty mundane. Again, this is a very high floor, low ceiling anime that's definitely banking off the success of Spy X Family, and that's fine. It's just very okay. It's just very okay. See, I've been watching a couple episodes. I'm just like, this is harmless. It's not spectacular. But what's that?
I kind of like the look of Tomo-chan wa Ononako.
And Tomo-chan is a girl. That's the next thing I want to talk about. So I just started watching this. Audience, this is one of those opportunities where you should just be watching the English dub.
Yeah.
I know the sub peers. If you're a sub peers, don't bother because you won't like it. But people who enjoy dubbing, Tomo-chan is a must watch. This dubcast is having a fucking blast. This is a seriously funny show. It's not Kaguya-sama funny. It's funny, like, not necessarily a Ghost Stories funny, but kind of a cousin of that humor.
Very tongue-in-cheek.
Where the dub actors are
piss.
doing the heavy lifting.
Taking a bit of the piss, which is like always kind of fun. When
I mean,
you can
they're
see
not
that.
fucking with the main story because I watched the sub like to see what changed. It's very much the same. It's just the delivery is next level with the English guys because they're delivering it in a language that you contextually understand. If English is your first language.
Here is one that I can actually talk about only because it's actually in that genre of super short anime that I just like to watch sometimes. Like that marshmallow one that I was talking about.
I know,
and
yeah,
thought it was new.
3-minute fucking tax deductions.
I fucking love 3-minute tax deductions so fucking much because
I know you do. That's your favorite.
It's like one of those super small cans of fizzy drink that you can buy where you kind of look at it. It's like,
I'm trying to remember.
well,
Besides, what's the one
Roboco.
that Trigun did?
Bokuto Roboco. So I remember you talking about the manga
Wait,
of
me and
this.
Roboco is that?
Yeah. And I remember you telling me that it seems like Japan's attempt at Family Guy almost.
Yes.
And I actually quite enjoy Bokuto Roboco.
I should watch it. I did not know that was out yet. They had a very like top heavy marketing campaign, and then it just kind of petered out for some reason. I did not know this was actively out. I will absolutely watch that.
I like it more than Pop Team Epic, to be honest, because
Pop Team Epic is like
I
a
know
few good
you
memes
quite like
and you're
Pop
done.
Team Epic. Exactly. Like Pop Team Epic to me is a real flash in the pan series that everyone acts like they fucking adore with all their
No
hearts
one's watching
when
it.
it's out, and then it's like, oh, it's done. Like they just use it. They just want to fucking be the first to show off the memes from it and shit.
It's normie anime. Like again, like so Pop Team Epic is like what's the one with all the countries and they're all fucking Yuri?
Oh, fucking Hetalia.
Yeah, Hetalia. It's the
Axis
modern
Powers
Hetalia.
yeah.
Not to say I did not enjoy Hetalia. Again, if you talk about that 3-minute shit that we enjoy, I love Hetalia.
I would actually say Hetalia has more worth than fucking Pop Team Epic in the grand scheme
I
of
agree
things.
too. I'm just saying that it's very normie.
There is a tiny country somewhere. I cannot remember the specifics of this, but there is a tiny country that is like only barely recognized as a country. It's super small, and Hetalia actually recognized it. And
I just know that fucking oil
king,
rig that's also a country in the middle of
the
like...
king of that country actually painted a portrait of the author to thank him for
Hell
including
yeah,
their
we love to see
country
it.
in it. I fucking love that shit. And I remember this specifically because there was a girl in my high school who absolutely adored Hetalia, like, to death. Like, I would walk past her and she'd be, like, watching it on the fucking computer when she would be doing work or something. Like, clips on YouTube and shit. So it's just ingrained in my mind as a thing.
Yeah, so back in the OG days of Funimation made that thing available for free on YouTube.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it was so short. They're like, we make more money off YouTube videos than we would putting it behind our subscription wall.
I want to talk about, actually, Nier Automata. Because here's the thing. I have yet to play Nier Automata, but I'm very educated on a lot of things to do with Yoko Taro as a director and whatnot. And I really want to play the Nier games. I have only played Drakengard. That is the only game of his I've played, and I've always been very interested in Nier, and I've talked to lots of people about Nier. I know a lot about Nier. And I feel like this Nier anime, I know it's called version 1 and everything, so I don't know if they are trying to do what the games do. Do you know much about Nier?
I am very well.
Anything?
Via osmosis, I know Nier very well.
Fair. So you know that the main point of the game is replaying it, where you are slowly drip-fed more and more context as to what is going on.
Yes.
As you replay the game and different scenarios kind of unfold. Like it might be, oh, I'm playing a new game. Oh, but this time you're playing as like the character that's been escorting you, and you're getting examples of what they're seeing actually, and context about how they feel in these situations, and that's what like makes it really intriguing. I'm just like, man, I cannot be fucked with that in anime form. I would rather play the games. I am more tempted to just buy the games, not even looking at this anime, and just play them, than experience it through the anime, to be honest. That's just my opinion on it.
A fun thing to mention about Nier's is like hot off the presses of issue I've been having a couple weeks ago about this House of Cards where if one thing goes wrong, it all goes wrong. Nier Automata went on delay for a little bit, as did a few other series. I do not know it off the top of my head. It was Nier Automata and 3 other series went on hiatus because people got sick. Because the triple demic is hitting Japan very hard right now. And if one person gets sick, well, that was the one person that was very heavily responsible for one very important piece of the production, and so they just have to stop. And that happened to Nier and a few others recently.
Man, that's fucking... No, it is ridiculous that they don't have, like, people set up to at least, like, fucking...
No backups.
Yeah, no backups and shit like that. I mean
why would they? It's just $1 billion industry. What could go wrong by only having one
Golden
person
Kamuy is still MIA.
Still MIA.
Fuck.
It was that bad.
Crazy.
It was that bad. Of all the ones, it was mine that went on indefinite hiatus. So mad. So mad. Was there any other you want to discuss that you actually saw, or do we want to move on to the manga now?
I really have not watched anything. Like, I'm looking through this list and I'm like, is there anything here that I could get into? There's The Legend of Heroes. I know everyone fucking loves The Legend of Heroes when it came out. There's a new Monogatari?
Yeah, no, you've reached a point where you're just reading the list. Stop it. There's nothing relevant.
No, because sometimes, like, I will see something and I'm like, oh, these characters' designs are appealing or something about this. Like, oh, you know, I did actually take a quick look out of sheer curiosity. It's an isekai.
You've already lost
I believe Benria Saito-san Isekai Niku, and it's Handyman Saito in another world, where it's just this regular blue-collar dude ends up in a fantasy world of knights and wizards and shit like that, and he just, like, impresses them all with his, like, handyman know-how, basically. I took a quick glance at that, essentially.
Okay, so I've got a recommendation for you if you think that's interesting.
Okay.
So a guy, regular blue-collar, normal guy, goes to another world, but he has a cell phone. But if that one doesn't tip your fantasy, here's another one. Regular blue-collar guy goes to another world, and he buys a bunch of slaves for himself.
I actually liked the first season of Shield Hero. I actually liked how they did that. I genuinely liked that.
Shield Hero's pretty good. No, Shield Hero's pretty solid. Seriously,
I had a conversation with lots of people, and they were like, no, Shield Hero's fucking ass. He literally, like, enslaved. And it's like, what? Did you not watch it? It's literally that he has no choice. And even then, he treats them with the utmost respect. It's like, but it's just gonna turn into a romance. It's like, no, it's super fucking beautiful. When they take away, like, his slave, like, in the context of things. Yep. But it's like, no, he, like, views them as his, like, daughter and shit, and he's so fucking afraid of being abandoned because the entire world hates him, because it turns out everyone else is super fucking racist and just fucking, virtue signaling to spite him. It's actually really fucking good, but then the second core of the anime occurred, and it became the most by-the-numbers regular isekai, and I fucking hated it.
Alright, so here's the deal, Val. We're rolling up on time.
Let's talk about my favorite fucking manga.
I want to put a pin on our weekly manga discussion because, I mean, One Piece is on break. My Hero Academia is on hiatus because our man Hori is sick again. This is bad.
I mean, he's pushing himself fucking hard with the art.
He's pushing himself
you can
way
tell.
too
Him
fucking
and his
hard,
team.
and when he comes back, he's gonna rush to the end before he gets sick again. So this does not bode well for the ending of My Hero Academia. Kids.
He could honestly end it in like 4 chapters if he wanted, I think.
If he really wanted to, he could. He's due for more. But remember though, he has a schedule up to the end of March. He owes Jump to the end of March. He has to be there or not be there. But there has to be My Hero airing at some capacity until the end of March.
Hori, baby, you gotta kill Shigaraki. So just fucking do it.
He's not coming back until late February, so he could wrap the series in 6 chapters. I don't believe it. But the fact that he keeps getting sick makes it more and more believable that he's gonna try to wrap this shit in 6 chapters. I feel so bad. I feel we're laughing, but I feel bad. That's gotta be fucking miserable. He is, like, again, we're talking about how he has to do it. I'm sure he doesn't want to do it, but it's about your fucking health, man.
Dude, I'm sure Shonen Jump don't want him to fucking do it.
I don't know, man.
Shonen Jump's like, hurry, baby, do you want some tea? Oh, yeah, I'd love some tea, like putting rat poison in there.
Actually, you know what? I like this. You know what? I like this narrative. I like the narrative that Jump is purposely getting Horikoshi sick, so he delays it just a little bit later, so My Hero lasts until fall before they have to replace a bunch of series.
Oh, I'm just gonna end it in
We
like
have nothing for spring. We have nothing for spring, Hori. You gotta hold off till fall. What if we just predicted that My Hero Academia goes to fall at the end of this year now because of this?
No. It's doing a fucking. They're pulling a misery on him right now.
Yeah,
It's like, look,
yes.
man, and while you're sick, Hori, you know, if you think of some better ideas, he's just there like, oh, I did think of something really good.
There's
actually.
posters all over his room. My Hero Academia Shippuden. My Hero Academia Shippuden. But here's what I want to get to, because the comments. No, I've been trying to talk about Fabricant 100 for 2 months now.
Oh.
For 2 months, I've lain dormant in patience, and I want to talk about Fabricant 100.
I have read 5 chapters of it. Does it get more interesting? There's 6 chapters now.
Maybe 7.
I got to the point where they went to the base of what seemed to be Fabricant hunters, or like...
Yes.
More people that have been victimized by Fabricants.
It's a mix. It's a safe shelter. Basically, it's people who hunt them and people who have been victims of them.
Yeah.
They all live in one space because this is the safest place to be from replicants. So let me wrap it back, because we did in our preview of the new manga, we discussed the premise of Fabricant 100, and I said I would not bring it back up unless it got interesting, and it has gotten interesting. We talk about adaptive versus innovative storytelling. What separates, in my eyes, what separates the great Jump manga from the good? I'm still not ready to call Fabricant 100 great, but I sense the potential for greatness in this one, because it has a very innovative relationship between protagonist and antagonist. The fact that they have a deal with each other, and a lot of the conflict comes from the changes in their dynamic. There is a power struggle between these two in a game that they play, and I very much like it, where one seems to have more power than the other until there's just a bit of a... Again, they take just little side steps from each other. I don't know, Daisuke Enoshima is the mangaka. I have not heard of any work he's done prior to this. He feels like a very brand new mangaka. Very young. My criticisms of issue 1 were the fact that things felt a little bit rough and uncomfortable. And I feel like if this manga gets more time, if it can get past that 18 mark, that 18 chapter mark before most manga get axed, between 18 and 30, if it can get past 30, I think Fabricant 100 is going to become great. The more reps this guy gets in, the more comfortable he gets. This is only going to get better. The art has been improving with each chapter. The writing has. There's still a few weird quirks to it, but like, if we're patient with this one, this could become great. People have been very supportive of it. Like, the discourse around this has been very positive. I think it's just very emphatically okay. I don't think this is incredible, but I sense the potential, and people even before the potential are really enjoying this. And I think it's just because it's very nice old school Shonen Jump. Like, again, like it's very much adaptive, but the innovation comes in just the relationship between the main character and the Fabricant number 100, the titular character that he carries around with him, where they're like, they have a deal, and the addendums to that deal kind of change day by day as they have to learn to tolerate and cooperate with each other. And it's almost kind of it's starting to turn into Zatch Bell, where we're meeting other humans who have made deals with Fabricants.
I'm skimming through chapter 7, and I was about to say,
chapter 7 starts going full Zatch Bell.
Oh, so you feel like it might have the potential to turn into a Mon fighter?
It's echoing that. It's never gonna be a full Mon fighter, but Chapter 7 proves that this guy has done his homework and he's echoing it. He goes, I know the shit you like. He knows that adaptive is the safest way to go, and he is adapting. But
shall we talk
he
about
has the
my
innovation in
favorite
the
Mon
relationship,
fighter?
though. What's that?
Shall we talk about my favorite Mon fighter?
Yes, let's talk about Yomo No Tsugai, or Daemons of the Shadow Realm. We need to start pushing that name for our friends at Viz Media.
Yeah, we do.
We need to do their marketing for them. Yeah, Yomo No Tsugai is getting very fun.
It is.
Talk about good old-fashioned fucking shonen. I mean, shonen seems to want to skim over the action these days, which I get is fine. But there's nothing quite like actually getting a play-by-play fight, the way that Yomo No Tsugai does it.
The way Hiromu Arakawa does it, I would say.
Yes, where we get to actually watch a fight. That is the magic of monthly manga, where you will actually get to physically watch a fight. I love it. Oh, this has been fucking fun.
It has. No, I really like this fight. I like the moving around. I like chase kind of fights, where it's like we're getting a lot of like different aspects
It's a
of
mobile
the area.
fight, yes.
Yeah, like you got this bit where the guy jumps off the roof onto like a truck, onto a brick. Oh wait, no, it's not a truck. It's like the other end of the roof that he's just jumping off of, and that's like the storm drain onto like a wall and shit like that. And I really do feel like lately, I don't know about you, but the main character is, I think he's becoming a bit more endearing as a person. I don't think he has like a major, like, he doesn't have a big personality.
He doesn't.
I think.
His bit, he has a fish out of water bit. That's all he has.
But I appreciate things like how...
It's okay because the characters around him have a lot of personality, so he can be forgiven.
Yeah.
Having a lack of characterization can be a characterization. Like, you can be flat.
What does surprise me in this manga, though,
As long as your supporting cast is good.
They have introduced another new character who is probably going to stick around. And I am really surprised because, I know maybe it's because it's a monthly manga, but just the rate of which Hiromu is introducing, like, characters who are going to be around for a long time.
How many chapters are we in? Like 12?
14.
14. It's still, we're still so early into the series, Val.
Yeah,
we're still
we are.
so early into this series.
Like, so in this chapter, we established that the character is eventually going to learn how to use his power. And I really like this bit where the demon, long hand, long arms, or long arms, long legs, is, it's sort of weighing up whether, it's sort of weighing up whether or not it's a possibility that the characters are lying to them, because it's already been lied to once about who the user of Fu is, they call his power, by the Tadera guy, the guy who's like shooting at them right now.
The sniper,
he lied about
the
having
hunter.
And then there's a brief moment where the main character shows a nice bit of thought, where he observed the way his sister uses her power, I think it's called Kai, and where she clutches her hand and then opens it before using it.
So he does it the exact opposite. Like, it's very clever. It's very, I'm 12 years old, but I look like I'm 21. Kind of that, like, overly mathematical thinking.
JoJo. Literally, Giorno Giovanni, as Naomi used to say.
Everyone has
the
a
fucking
degree in
15-year-old,
theoretical fucking mathematics and physics.
the 15-year-old who knows about, like, the fucking, I don't know, the way that some fucking bullshit he apparently saw in a documentary that is now viable in this specific situation.
Which we all know is just the mangaka's way of getting a tax deduction. I had to rent that documentary, sir, and I had to deduct it for my taxes, for my anime. I had to prove it here.
But
here's a picture of me in a nice new fur jacket in the manga to get a tax deduction. I needed this fur jacket to show off in my manga.
But I really like that bit. Like, it shows the terror in like the long arms.
It's very cool.
Face and stuff, and it also gives you an example where he's kind of like I also liked how the servants looked in like their half like like monster half human forms
Their
and
hybrid
shit.
form, yeah.
That was really cool. And then they transform into their old statue forms to drown one of them.
Yeah.
That was really cool. I really like
it's very fun. It's very fun. It's a Mon fighter. We're having a good ass time.
we are having a good ass time. It's like
I forget the series comes out because it's monthly, but then you always remind me, and I go, I get so excited because it's so fun to read.
I wake up first thing in the morning and I'm like, if it's out, I send it to him immediately.
It's such a pure joy to read. Viz, why are you taking so long to localize this?
Yeah. I also I kind of forgot about her because I
just answered my own question because it's a monthly manga, so.
I forgot about her because I haven't seen her in months, but the woman who's like pretending to be married to Tadera, and I forgot that her whole thing is that she is like absolutely petrified about having to pay hospital bills and shit like that. I just forgot about that.
True American hero.
It was just a good chapter. It's like got a nice fight, you know. Once again, this character does not need to have a big personality. He's already likable in like his capability as like a hunter and stuff like that. And I'm just excited to see more Tsugai, to be honest. Like I really hope this does well. I cannot wait for an animated adaptation of this, to be honest. I think it will kick ass. Because I've been watching Brotherhood recently, and Brotherhood is good, but I'll admit, some things, when I'm like watching it, I'm kind of like, I wonder if the manga makes up for some of the shortcomings in this. Because I do notice, like, similar to this, characters like Barry the Chopper in the manga really do, like, just change their motivations on the fucking spot in certain situations. Where I'm kind of like, that's not quite as good as I remember it being. So, I think I might just read Fullmetal Alchemist again soon.
May as well. I think the anniversary's coming up.
I think it's an April thing? Maybe?
I think so. I was just looking through all of Viz reveals all their publications of the year, and there was some kind of anniversary special for Full Metal on the way. I just noticed.
That's cool. I mean, such a fucking good series. I mean, it's officially 20 years old as of Adjust Glasses July. Wait, no, it's already more than 2003 is now 20 years old, which is insane to me. My fucking like innocence and shit, Ivan. Holy fucking shit.
You've
I
never
remember
been innocent. Shut the fuck up.
No, I have. It was after I watched Guyver that I lost my innocence. But Fullmetal Alchemist is officially going to be 24 years old as of July 12th, and the original 2003 anime will be 20 years old as of October.
Damn, we're still so young.
It's just insane to me. I remember like going into Birmingham for like really early age with my mom, and like going to my brother showing us the nerdy comic book shop and everything that I'd never been to, and I begged my mom to buy me the DVDs of Fullmetal Alchemist so I could watch it all, and I only got one, naturally, because as we know, like Funimation used to be fucking like highwaymen. Basically, they would charge like 30 fucking quid for 4-episode DVD or something. It was insane.
I know. I was reflecting on that because I remember when I got really into Hajime no Ippo, and like I was looking for fucking physical media of it, and it was like there were like DVDs. It was like 4 episodes for like $40. I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding.
Dude, that fucking anime I was in, Tribe 9, is like 60 quid. And it only comes in on Blu-ray, and I want to own it, but I'm just like, can I fucking like justify spending £60 on an anime that I star in?
I'm serious.
I don't think I could.
Everything's a tax deduction if you're brave enough. And that's where I think we're gonna wrap this episode at too.
No Chainsaw Man, damn.
We will catch it because it's off next week, so we will discuss that next week.
It's off next week. Fuck. I wanted the resolution of thief.
And I want a clear Excel chart of the fart chart. That's what I want.
Okay.
That's all you have to say about Chainsaw Man this week. Let's be honest. The fart chart and thief. We'll talk about more detail next week.
I forgot about the fart chart.
It's the best. But until then, guys, take care. We'll see you next week.
Mind the gap as you exit our podcast safely. Rebuild of JoyCast is hosted by Ivan LeRoy and Valentine Stokes. LeRoy's written and directed works can be found on the JoyRide Entertainment YouTube channel and the soon-to-be-released original web manga, Paramedic. Val's dulcet tones can be heard in many of your favorite anime and web series, such as Ruby, Death Battle, Tribe 9, Lackadaisy Cats, and more. This episode was edited by Steena Carey, with YouTube version edited by Cody Rock. Music provided by Lofi Geek. Intro and outro narration by Steena Carey. Outro music composed by Michael Pejovich. Logo and visuals designed by Ivan LeRoy. Rebuild of JoyCast is produced by JoyRide Entertainment and Rock Voice Productions LLC, and made possible thanks to Patreon donations from generous listeners like you. This month's highest tiered Patreon producers are Mr. Host, Gooner Bear, MerryBowTie, Hope D. Cruz, and Greg Hughes. If you would like your name shouted out at the end of each podcast, an invite to our private Discord to interact with fans, cast and crew, or early access to all of our content, be sure to check out JoyRide Entertainment's Patreon. Links provided in the description. Thank you for keeping JoyRide's engine burning.